3, 2, 1. No, I'm not counting down our recording. We have UFC 321. Joe gave me a look like dumbass. He just counted down a second ago. There goes our UFC algorithm. I cussed in the first 10 seconds. That's great. That's why we got 11 views in our last video. Not because we had a reverse sweep. First time in our betting history. We have had 2 correct sweeps in our PTL history where we've had perfect cards. We've never had a reverse sweep. It happened last week. What are you going to do? We've been back for 3 weeks. We're still technically up 1.3 units over these 3 weeks because we had such an amazing week 1, good week 2, and then ass whooping in week 3. I think I'm seeing the Matrix this week. My boy Tommy A is fighting, favorite current fighter in UFC roster. We're in Abu Dhabi. We're in the sand dunes. Dana's going to be making a shit ton of money, and I think we are too.
Well, both of my ass cheeks are chapped. I had the Mariners to win the AL pennant before the year started. Up 2-0, then up 3-2, and they somehow lose it. I didn't hedge because the only hedging I do is down south. What are we going to do? I need to get some money back. And it's a good card.
Well, let's do it. Because a lot of fights, a lot of stuff to break down here. We're going to try to burn through it pretty quick. First fight of the night's a pretty easy one. It's Jackie Amora minus 425 against Mizuki Inoue at a plus 330. Look, Jackie Amora is a good fighter, but the minus 425 tag tells you all you need to know about that.
Yeah, I mean, Amorum's done great with finding the submission. It's tough to bet. I think last card, we got burned on betting the methods a little too much instead of just going with a little more chalk. Obviously, we're not leaning a 425 favorite, but if I had to say it's going to be Amorum by submission. But after last week, I'm not going the method route. This is just it's a parlay piece or a pass.
And so for me, I am a genuinely huge Jackie Amorum fan. I've been betting her since her debut. I've been betting her by finish for a while. She reminds me kind of like a young Mackenzie Dern. More ways than one, if you know what I mean. Not quite the same stylistic anatomy, but you're going to like what you see when you watch the fight. But Mizuki Inoue is not some bum. She's a 27-year-old fighter. Her record's a little bit salty. She's lost a lot of decisions, and that's because she has a good chin and she's got a good ground game, but she's really bad off her back foot and she's really bad off of her back. She gives up rounds, even though she's got a little bit of a toughness to her on the feet and a little bit of a sneaky submission game on the mat. So to me, this fight is screaming Amorum by decision, but I agree with what you said at the beginning of the video. We got a little cute with method here. So if you are a parlay bettor, this is a good card for you. But if you're a straight bettor, I like Jackie Amorum doesn't win inside the distance at a plus 110. So that covers the Amorum decision, which is what I think is likely. I think is capable enough on the ground to survive. And she tends to lose by decision because she's willing to just give up the position. And Amorum is good on the ground, but she's not Dern elite yet, despite 3 submission wins in a row. But it also covers something goofy if Inoue does get a win one way or another. So I would play this Amorum does not win inside the distance at a plus 110 would be my crafty way of playing it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's smart rather than her by decision just in case something goofy happens. But it's just not a great bet of a fight, in my opinion.
I don't know what the hell happened last week. We second fight of the night, we had a minus 300 who ended in an OV and should have won the damn fight. Looked like he was dominating for a while. We got the same kind of situation going here. We have Azat Maxim at a minus 380. Maxim, that was a magazine I wasn't allowed to look at as a child. BP gas station, shout out to you. Didn't cover those things up. And Mitch Raposo at a plus 300 here. Look, I got to give Mighty Mitch some credit here. He's been in the UFC a lot longer than I thought he was going to be. But he's a tough SOB is all that Mitch Raposo really has going for him, and a good head of hair. Besides that, I'm not sure what he's got going on.
He was the first of all draft pick in the Tough series with the Volk Ortega card. He's a burst of energy in the octagon that's learning to wrestle. Now he's losing, and he seems to do well outside of the UFC. When he gets in the UFC, he loses, but he's fought really well in his last 2 fights. He's fought good opponents. Lima is no joke of a fighter. Had some moments there. And then he lost to Sumudaerji, which you'd like to see him get that thing done. Sumudaerji's up and down of a guy, but Raposo had some success in that fight. He's fighting Maxim. Maxim is like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, one of the stands, tried and true wrestler. I expect Maxim to do really well here. And he can strike. Maxim can strike, but I expect Maxim to do really well early. But I do worry about his cardio. And Raposo is not lacking in a certain particular part of MMA. Most flyweights aren't lacking. Raposo got good offensive wrestling, and he's quick on the feet. Now, he can get clipped, and his defensive wrestling is nowhere near as good as his offensive wrestling, but he's not a bad fighter. All to say, I really like Maxim by decision. I think Maxim might be able to clip Raposo, but I really, more likely than not, expect Maxim to do really well in round 1, win round 2, and then struggle in round 3 with the cardio. I really like Maxim by decision here. It's really just avoiding Raposo getting clipped. And I think Raposo has enough now UFC experience where he's not just going to blitz right away. He's going to be more calculated. He has some low-round ability. I really like that Maxim by decision play.
Yeah, Maxim reminds me of Rinat Fakhardinov. The guy can look really good in round 1, and then he slowly kind of shoots his load early. But while I do like your Maxim decision play for a straight play, if I played it straight, that's how I would play it too. I expect him to kind of crotch sniff for 12 of the 15 minutes. I do want to point out a couple of things moving forward. Maxim, I don't like that he gets his head stuck in a guillotine a lot when he shoots. Raposo doesn't have the jiu-jitsu to take advantage of that, but it is something that I think Raposo can use to either get back to his feet or to kind of prolong the fight, which goes more to the decision play. Additionally, I don't like Raposo's defense at all. He's kind of like the Cincinnati Bengals, all offense, no defense. But the offense, I think, is chaotic enough. Think Amanda Ribas. There's enough movement going on that I think, again, he can prolong the fight. So I like Maxim by decision as my straight play. I prefer him in a parlay. I got an anchor coming later. It's not much of a surprise who the anchor is going to be. So I like Maxim as a parlay piece with Tommy A coming up later. I couldn't find my Tommy A shirt. I'm not sure what happened to that with the whole London skyline with his arms on top. Yeah, it's a good shirt. I don't know what happened to that. But as long as Maxim stays south of 400, he's 380 on DraftKings, 340 on FanDuel. As long as he's south of 400, I like him with Tommy A later in the card. Straight play, though, definitely by decision.
Yeah, I like that.
Next fight, you can talk about it. I got nothing to say. We got Hamdi Abdelwahab, nailed that, at about a minus 400 against Black Doug. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch King of Queens, watch the Chicken Wing and Mailman episode. Chris Barnett, who I just found out today is the same height as Brandon Royval. Same height as Brandon Royval.
It is crazy.
125, 135-pound difference.
Yeah, this would – I don't think Abdul should be a 400 favorite against really any heavyweight. And I'm 100% going to be rooting for Chris Barnett. This dude is – you got to watch his walkout. His walkout's the best walkout in the UFC. He's fun. He's athletic for a big man, but he's just not very good. Abdul, I don't expect him to be at minus 400 ever again in a UFC fight. So I'm not laying it. I don't like laying that big of a number when I don't really love the fighter, but he definitely deserves to be the favorite here in this fight. Chris Barnett, he does a bunch of spinning shit for being 5'8", 270 pounds. He's not that good of a fighter, but by golly, the big man can hit. He's decently quick, and I'll be rooting for him. But smart money is Abdul in a parlay piece. But I'm not touching this with 10-foot pole.
No, you can't make me put it into a parlay. If I had to play this, I would play it as a straight play, either under 1.5 at plus 135 or Abdelwahab minus 120 inside the distance. Pick your poison. Don't mind either one of those. I would prefer Abdelwahab inside the distance because Barnett is going to gas out if it makes it to round 3. So I think a round 3 finish is live, but you get a plus number at under 1.5. So horse a piece there, but you can't make me parlay a bottom 5 heavyweight at a minus 400 tag. It's just not worth it. The fight's going to be probably a quick Hamdi finish, although Chris Barnett is 300 pounds and can do a backflip. So something could always happen. You just never know. But Chris Barnett's here to lose. We're in Abu Dhabi. The short, fat black guy is not the one who's supposed to win this fight with the plus 350 tag next to his name. All right. Next fight, fascinated where you go here because this is one of your boys with a plus number next to his name, but Jose Delgado at a minus 150 is a hot and up-and-coming prospect. How do we break this one down here? Jose Delgado, Nathaniel Wood.
Incredible fight. I mean, one of the best fights on the card, I think. The fact that Nathaniel Wood is an underdog against someone that's not ranked, that should just tell you how good Delgado is. Nathaniel Wood, he's one of those tweeners. If there's a 140-pound division, that's where he would be fighting. He's really talented. I mean, he's fast on the feet. He's well-rounded. He's experienced in the UFC. He's a really, really high-level fighter that is a fringe ranked guy in either the bantamweight or featherweight division. Nathaniel Wood is no joke. Jose Delgado could be a real problem. His ceiling is very, very high, and he's not just some young green kid. Like he's on the correct path. He's taking the correct fights. Emil was a tough fight, and Delgado looked incredible in that fight. And Nathaniel Wood might be he's a decently high step up in competition, but it's still the right trajectory for Delgado. A little bit of some notes from Dana White's series in earlier fights. Dana White said he's the whole package. And DC says he's the real deal. Those are two separate fights. These guys, the UFC high ups, really like him. Delgado is vicious. He's extremely talented. Really, all you need to know is he's when they're coining him like the next generation of MMA. Delgado fits the bill. He's very talented everywhere, and he has the ability to get finishes. I don't know where to go with this fight, to be quite frank. Delgado is. I think you're not going to get him at this price for the next 2-3 fights. He'll probably fight similar caliber guys as Nathaniel Wood. I don't expect him to just run rampant through the featherweight division. Wood at dog money's hard to pass on, but it's probably a Delgado play because I just think he's more durable. I think he's a little bit more the aggressive fighter. But there's a lot of disparity in total number of fights, and Nathaniel Wood's got a lot of experience with a lot of skills. But I'd be tentatively going Delgado here. Nothing more than a -160 laying that price.
For me, this is a pretty confident, but not multi-unit play on Delgado. And you touched on the reason for it. It's durability. Nathaniel Wood has been rocked in recent fights. He's recovered. The man hasn't been finished since John Dotson, of all people, got him back in 2020. But he got rocked by Morgan Sherry. He got knocked real good around by Daniel Pineda. Andre Feely clipped him a couple of times. Charles Jourdain clipped him. Nathaniel Wood's been put on his back heels a little bit more than once. I think there's a chance here that Delgado gets Nathaniel Wood out of there in a highlight reel way, even in round 1. Now, I'm not calling for that. I'm not expecting that because, as you said, Nathaniel Wood is a Neil Magny style of fighter. He is a veteran UFC grown-ass man who does everything in MMA well. This is, to me, is either going to be Delgado just starches Wood and everyone and their mothers know who Jose Delgado is, or Jose Delgado is tested against the UFC veteran for 15 minutes and we learn who Jose Delgado is. In either case, I expect him to be the one to land the more impactful punches, and I think he is going to end up getting the W. So I like Delgado, simple 1.5 for 1 unit play, nothing fancy, just respecting who Nathaniel Wood really is. But as you said, probably the cheapest we're going to get Jose Delgado for a long, long time until he starts fighting the numbers 1 through 15. All right, next fight. While the first heavyweight fight was a snooze fest, whenever Walter Walker gets in the cage with his, 6 knee bars in a row, 17 heel hooks, something.
Heel hooks, I think.
Yeah, it's like 4 heel hooks in a row or something. It's much must-watch TV. The man just rolls for heel hooks. He is a heavyweight Ryan Hall, and you can't miss it. He's fighting against Louis Sutherland, who's making his debut. And if you never got to watch Ben Rothwell fight, well, here you go. Louis Sutherland is just big, plotting. He's a big man who probably couldn't make it in football and came over to UFC. That's underselling him a little bit. There's more talent there, as there was with Ben Rothwell. But this fight with Walter Walker at a -370 and Louis Sutherland at a +280, it's going to be weird until one of these guys probably finishes the other one.
Yeah, and I mean, it's Walker's brother of Johnny Walker. I don't trust him at this price. I kind of lean a sprinkle on the dog because I mean, if he doesn't get a submission, what do we do? I mean, he's got some strike in Walker, that is, but I think Sutherland, if he can defend the weird submissions, which you gotta think he's just drilling that over and over and over, I think you're at lower level UFC heavyweight MMA. Now, granted, these guys, either one of these guys might be a ranked guy in the foreseeable future. Who knows? There's not the roster's not that big in the heavyweight division, which is like there's irony for you for any English students out there. My gut saying dog or pass.
Absolutely dogger pass because Walter Walker has not shown an interest or an ability outside of a heel hook. And as we talked about a couple of weeks ago when he was supposed to fight, when you're rolling for heel hooks, you leave yourself vulnerable to hammer fists. And Walter Walker is dumb enough to keep going for a heel hook despite his face getting pounded into the canvas. You can never lay a big number with a Walker brother. It's not something you do. So this is 100% dogger pass. All right, next fight, really low level. This is supposed to be the UFC trying to help Abdul Karim Al-Sawadi kind of get his footing because he does have the potential to be somewhat exciting, but he's really faltered early in his UFC career. Coming in at a minus 110 against Matheus Camilo, excuse me. Look, he's a wrestler first, but he's not very good. He got submitted by Gabe Green in his UFC debut. And if you don't know who Gabe Green is, I don't blame you. He's not very good. But look, Camilo is a relentless is the wrong word, dedicated wrestler. He's going to shoot, and he's going to shoot often, but there's no striking. There's no real talent. Al-Sawadi, I'll let you break him down. This is his last chance, the UFC saying, go crush this can, kind of catch your breath, and let's see what we can do with you here. Let the people know who Al-Sawadi is.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is with both of his notes last two fights, the first line I have is constant movement, which I think is quite interesting for a 155. A lot of times you get that with like 125. The dude likes to move around the octagon. He's constantly moving. He has decent kicks, but they're not super crisp. He's willing to throw haymakers, but he didn't like getting hit. Like that was my one note in his last fight. Now, he fought someone pretty talented. I forgot who did he fight last fight out.
I'll find it for you.
Ruzaboyev. Ruzaboyev can hit hard, but he definitely Al-Sawadi did not like getting hit, which I didn't love seeing that. He can wrestle a little bit, which he's going to need to break out his wrestling shoes here. Even though I don't like that he did not like getting hit in his last fight, I really like him here at this price because I've written down both times. If he fights someone that I don't like, take him. And here, I don't like Camilo. I don't think he's that talented. Gabe Green, going back to Gabe Green, the thing that he's most known for is fighting Daniel Rodriguez on the California circuit, which had to be like 6 years ago. That's like the one thing I know with Gabe Green. I've seen him fight plenty of times, but that's like the thing that sticks out. I think Al-Sawadi, he's home turf, like you stated. It's pick 'em fight. I think you're getting good value. I think it's a good 1 unit play.
Yeah, look, Al-Sawadi, he beat George Hardwick on Dana White Contender Series, and I believe Hardwick, if memory serves, was like the prospect to watch that season on Contender Series. He looks like just a douchebag.
Yeah,
the guy who definitely went into finance, and he fought like a little bitch because Al-Sawadi constantly kept moving, hard to wrestle, and Hardwick had a good wrestling base, and then Al-Sawadi landed some heavy shots. He crapped the bed in his debut. Al-Sawadi did. He doesn't like getting hit. He struggles against pressure, as you said. But Camilo is going to be a worse version of Hardwick. He's going to wrestle, and Al-Sawadi's movement will neutralize that. And then Al-Sawadi will be able to land what he needs when he needs to do it. I'm not saying Al-Sawadi's good. In fact, I'm more than happy to fade him in the future. He's going to win this fight.
Yeah.
I'd even be comfortable putting 2 units on it. My only hesitation is we learned a lesson last year. Don't go multiple units when you're fading somebody. This isn't quite a pure fade of Camilo, but it is a partial fade of Camilo and partial bet on Al-Sawadi's debut isn't the true person of who he is. There's a little bit of an overcorrection in the line here. I want 1.5 to 2 units on him. We'll talk unit management at the end, but I like him here. All right, next fight. We have another one of your boys, Ludwig Klein at a minus 140 against Matheus Rebecki at a plus 120.
I love both these guys. I hate that they're fighting. You said before the video that you were a confidence card. This is the fight. I don't know where I'm going. Rebecki gets hit way too much for my liking, but the dude is a tough little Polish dude that just comes right at you. And he's not little. The guy's bricked up like a brick shithouse, but he's short. He comes right at you, but he does not move his head off the center line. And Klein is a much more talented technical striker. Klein has a decent wrestling defense. He's good at really spreading that base. But Rebecki's an underrated wrestler. Pure striking for striking, while Rebecki has power, Klein's more the technician. I would favor Klein in the striking realm. But I think Rebecki's got a little bit of a dog in him, like where he's willing to go at it, get hit to give one. And he does have the wrestling advantage here in this fight, albeit I'm not entirely sure he's going to be able to get it with ease. But if he does it tried and true, I think it's going to be a lot closer fight. It's going to be a coin flip fight. I have no idea where to go. I'm leaning by decision. Both guys are tough. I don't like that Rebecca gets hit a lot, but he's a very tough SOB. Go watch the Orlobov fight, one of the best fights of all time. I'm leaning the fight goes decision is my play.
Yeah, so we talked about this last video. I never like coming on here and giving you a round prop as my preferred bet, but that is over 2.5. Attaboy, crack one up. What are you drinking? Oh, Miller. Here you go. Dad's shout out. Hacker Shore.
Dad's got olive. Blue cheese olives.
Oh, I got those upstairs.
Extra calories.
Oh, yeah, need the extra calories. I don't like coming in here and giving you a round prop as my best bet, but I like fight goes the distance or over 2.5. Absolutely. This fight's a weird one because one of my handicaps for both of these guys is both of them tend to be better at range. Now, Rebecca, he either needs to be all the way out or all the way in. Mm-hmm. He kind of struggles in the intermediate range, but Klein is a range striker because of his kicks. Both of these guys got little baby T-Rex arms, and yet they both are pretty good at range, which is very odd. Rebecca's got a 66-inch reach only. Ludwig Klein's got a 72-inch reach. I just looked at like 4 or 5 other guys in the same division. The average is like 74 to 76 inches. So Ludwig Klein is a 2 to 4 inch reach shorter, and Rebecca is 8 inches shorter than him, or 6 inches shorter than him. So my point is, both of these guys are enigmas because they are powerful, they are explosive, but they struggle to have the physical structure to implement their game. So given that, both guys are preferred to be at range initially. I like Ludwig Klein's kicking in this one because he does have Rafael Fiziev style of kicks, very springy, very reflex-oriented kicks, and the kicking game is going to provide more range than the hands will, and Rebecca's got little baby T-Rex arms. But Rebecca's going to be able to close the distance. That's going to happen. I think this fight's going to have a lot of time spent against the cage because I think when Rebecca rushes, it's going to look like a really bad linebacker trying to tackle somebody. So I really do like this one going the distance. It's going to be a lemon juice in the ass, crack, puckering up kind of a thing because these guys are going to get hit and these guys are going to be throwing leather. So if you are faint of heart, if you have a pacemaker, if you have high blood pressure, don't watch this one. Just bet the over and cash the ticket at the end because there are going to be some moments where you go, oh, shit.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, you're not going to you're going to love watching if you're a fight fan. If you bet the over, you're going to hate it, but I think it's going to cash.
And I'm going to go dog or pass here. I have this fight as a true pick'em, and there's a slight edge on plus money on Rebecca. So I would take the plus money as my official pick. I also like him a little bit naturally stronger, anticipating a little bit of a clinch game. I think Rebecca's going to be a little bit better in that position. All right, next fight. We have Ikram Aliskerov. Oh, how the mighty have fallen at a minus 260 against Jung Young Park at a plus 210.
I love
another one of your guys.
Not in this fight, but I love the turtle. The turtle plays. It's actually a really good matchup for both guys. The turtle, Park, that is, he's hittable. He's very hittable. He's not fleet of foot. He's the opposite of that, aka slow mover. Aliskerov, the dude's got one shot at him. It's round one. You got to throw those laser hands. Round one, he can get it done. If it goes round two, the turtle will have more success. The reason why I like the fight for the turtle is he's fighting a guy with bad cardio. So if he can make it out round one, he'll do well round 2 and 3 and get the thing done. I love the fight for Aliskerov, though. He's fighting a guy that's extremely hittable, not fast on the feet. It's a get-right spot for him. It's an incredible price. $265, very seldom do you think, wow, that's a hell of a price. This is a full dollar under price, in my opinion. I was fully expecting him to be $375, $425. I mean, honestly, I would have been less surprised to see him at a minus 500 than sub 3 in this fight. It's incredible value. I think you're getting the public perception of they're doing the MMA math, RDR dominating Whitaker dominating Aliskerov. I think you're getting a little bit of MMA math there, and you're going to see why that does not apply. It's a big bet on Aliskerov here, and I love him by KO in particular.
Yeah, I love Aliskerov. Again, with Tom Aspinall, in my opinion, it's a guaranteed win at the end of the card. I'm going to parlay everything, put my mortgage with Tom Aspinall kind of a situation, and anything under 350, I'm happy to put with Tommy A. So I like Aliskerov with Tommy A, as many units as you want. If I had to pick one parlay, because there's one coming later that not a lot of people are willing to lay the juice on a parlay like that. I
got some stuff up my sleeve to negate some of these prices of the parlays.
Okay. But again, if you're not a parlay better, I like Alaskarov simply by KO. Please do not pick round 1, although that would be the most likely round that he gets it. Because Jung Young Park is a UFC vet, there is a good chance that he just survives. But Alaskarov by knockout on Betway right now, so not FanDuel, not DraftKings, will probably lose 50 cents on this. It's plus 220. So if he comes out at any kind of plus number by knockout, plus 150 to plus 170, I'm going to hammer Alaskarov by knockout. The bottom line is what you said, Park is slow and hittable. That's just, don't look at, he's only been knocked out once in his career. Park hasn't fought any strikers worth a damn in his career. Alaskarov is going to knock his head off.
Here's just the last thing, Alaskarov. 16-2, his 2 losses. Robert Whitaker, Hamza Chimaev. Let's just pump the brakes. I know Whitaker's not what he once was, but he's as good once as he ever was. Look up the lyrics. It's a great value.
Yeah, that's I love Alaskarov. All right, next fight. I have a prize picks bet or sleeper pet for the next fight, and then we can jump into it real quick here. We have Nasrat Hapkarast, which is a name I've always struggled to say. The QP combo. It's a pick'em fight against Quillian Sakild. Look, Hapkarast has landed strikes in his last 3 of his last 4 fights. The only one was he got a round 1 knockout. 135, 146, 171. Whatever Prize Picks has his strike total set to, you bet the over. He does not have big knockout power, and Sakild is tough. This is going to be a fun scrap for as long as it lasts. It's a pick'em fight. Hapkarast is going to land 120 plus strikes in this fight, probably 75 to 85 plus significant strikes. That's my sleeper pick of the night, along with Alaskarov getting a finish, because you can sometimes play that too. But smart play. But go ahead and break these guys down for us.
Yeah, I mean, Hapkarast is the reincarnation of Calvin Gastelum. They look identical. Hapkarast is a guy that he's the Neil Magny of the lightweight division, where he's on his good days a top 10 gatekeeper, on his bad days a top 15 gatekeeper. In this fight, it's if Quinlan wins, he gets a top 15 guy. That's what this fight is. Hapkarast, the dude's underrated. I mean, his last few fights, I mean, Rivovic, Jared Gordon, I mean, those guys are really good fighters. And a lot of people were picking those guys over Hapkarast, and Hapkarast did well. Good boxer, knows how to have success. I love that bet, by the way, in sleeper. He throws output. Dude's talented. Quinlan, he's a guy that I love that this fight's happening right now, so I can get a better read on him. I didn't love him on Daniel Kennedy series. I didn't love him, but people, I think it was actually Lorosenko, really liked him. I mean, they saw something in the performance that I wasn't really that impressed with. And I always have throw a little asterisk next to these guys' names when I'm like, I didn't see anything. And the announcers who know more than me seemed very excited. And since he's been in the UFC, first fight was a complete gimme. He fought the only person that from India ever, and he got a round 1 KO. That didn't impress me. And then last fight against Ashmoz, he wrestled. And I think in this fight, he has to wrestle. I don't think Quinlan can stand with Hapkarast. I don't know if that's a bold take or what. I don't think he can stand with them. Can he get Hapkarast down? I don't know. I think you're getting good value on Nasrat at pick'em odds. If I lose this one, it's like, okay, Quinlan, he's better than I thought, and let's see what his ceiling is. But give me the far more known commodity, fighting in his backyard, like continuing with that trend, and he has fought legit UFC dudes. Rivovic, Jared Gordon, most recent, and he won those fights. And both those guys are very tough fighters. I love the value.
Yeah. Sakild Quinlan, whatever his name is here, he landed 9 takedowns in his UFC debut. He landed 8 takedowns the last time out. The guy wants to wrestle. He reminds me, if you ever watched the show with Alfie, Kingdom, with the Jonas brother. He reminds me, it's a good show. He reminds me of Jay Kalina. He looks like him a little bit too. He's got the mustache. He's got the hair. He's chaos in the cage. He's got big swinging punches, but he really wants to get it on the ground. So he likes to move forward with a lot of power strikes to then open up the takedown. And he typically wrestles with athleticism. And now, of course, there's absolutely technique there. He's as Joe said, this guy could be fighting for a number after a win here. He's not some bum. He's good. But I don't think anything that Sakil is going to show, unless he clips Hapkarast, is anything that Hapkarast hasn't seen before and defended. As you said, he's kind of like Kevin Gastelum, and Kevin Gastelum's always been a pretty good takedown defense, or at least early in his career before he started putting away the Big Macs. I think Hapkarast.
To play.
You're gonna know in the first 2 minutes who's gonna win this fight, because Sakil is gonna shoot in the first 2 minutes, and if Hapkarast goes down, that's it, because he'll just keep going. But if Hapkarast can defend it, he's going to piece him up on the feet, probably by decision here. Hapkarast straight, I like that play. Nothing crazy, but I do want to play him for at least a unit here.
I was asked what the price is by decision because Quinlan's young and he's very physical. He's 6 foot. He's a big dude. I do like Hapkarast by decision.
Plus 150 only.
Okay, not worth it.
No, just play the money line. Well, it's plus 175 overseas. I always knock off a quarter. Yeah, because we never get the best of the number. All right, another one of your boys. Jeez, this fight's for you and me. It's a damn shame this fight's taking place during the day, because this is, so many of our favorite fighters. All right, I guess my kids are going to watch UFC. My son's almost 2 and my daughter's 4 months old. Come here, kids. We're going to actually, both of them do like the UFC already. It's great. All right, we have Azmat Murzakanov in a -1 pick'em fight against Alexander Rakic. I can never say his name either. Rakic.
This is a great fight, especially if you're watching with someone that doesn't know UFC. These two standing in the octagon, you have to explain how there's a commission that needs to approve the fights. Like, there's weight limits for a reason. They're allowed to fight one another. The one dude is like 5'7", bald, not a good body. I mean, the dude looks frumpy as can be. He's fighting a guy that looks like he's like out of a Greek god like handbook. I mean, Rakic, tall, athletic, strong. The fact that they're fighting one another, just incredible. Just appreciate it. Appreciate the Chris Barnett early. Appreciate this fight. This one's going to be crazy. But Azamat, from a technical standpoint, Azamat, southpaw, really likes to kick, likes to throw really only his left side of the body. He's very good at it, though. I mean, the dude's 15-0, and he's very good at it, but he's fought a lot of cans. He is not – this is a big step up in competition. It's now or never. He's not a young man. Like, he's not. I doubt he's in good health either. Rakic, big, strong, good kicker, good at range. He falls in that category, maybe the Johnny Walker category. He just doesn't seem to win the fights that he needs to really level up and fight for the belt. But he wins the fights when he's not fighting the top echelon guys. At range, Rakic has this thing all day. Azamat, while he can kick with his southpaw leg, Rakic is vastly superior at range. I do worry for Rakic's chin, because Azamat likes to rush in, and he's good at closing distance, and he's good at throwing left hand. This thing has KO on either side written all over it from a stylistic standpoint, not from just because guys like to strike. One guy's going to be rushing in. Rakic has a decent sniper-like striking. This has KO, I like inside distance, written all over it.
So I read this exactly the way that you did. If you give me, I don't care, current Luque's chin on Rakic, it's a multi-unit play on him. The only thing is Murzakanov coming in with a massive windmill overhand. But that's what he does. At this point, we can't say if he lands the punch, the guy keeps landing the punch. But Rakic is so much better by a mile technically at range where these guys want to be. It's not even close. Under 2.5 is pick'em, which I love. So I would play this Rakic and or under 2.5. I had both of them written down when you were talking. I could have been talked into whether you want to bet your boy, because he is willing to point fight. He is willing to point fight. So I actually lean Rakic here, and I'm willing to trust his chin. I'd rather bet the guy than the round here, because I think Rakic is more likely to win this fight than he is. Now I start thinking about that chin, and I see that overhand from Murzakanov here.
I like both, because I think you can win both. I think, and I really think it's a. I know I said the only hedge I do is down south. I think it's a really good in-fight hedge. I don't see Azamat winning this thing by decision. I know he beat Dustin Jacoby by decision. That's the best win, by the way. Look at the guys. If he fought Ribeiro his last fight, this is a massive step up in competition. But he's looked good. Like, that's the thing. Like, he's looked good, and he's got a lot of experience. But I think Rakic, if he wins, he could win by decision, or he could win by KO. Azamat, I think it's only with landing the punch. So I like 1 unit on both Rakic and under, and I think you can double up your win. More likely than not, that you would lose both.
I can be talking to that. I can get on board with that. All right, next fight we have. Oh, really wondering where you're going here. We have Jalton Almeida at a minus 225 against Alexander Volkov, still doing it at plus 185.
It's tough. I mean, sometimes Volkov looks like he can defend it. Sometimes he looks like if you get him down, you're going to keep him down and do nothing. It's really challenging. Almeida's going to get this. There's a fight recently. I think it was like the Chimaev Duplessis fight, where it's like you knew Chimaev was going to get him down early, and if you can't get a finish, how's it going to look like in round 2 and 3? And Chimaev's cardio, he worked with a new coach that DC was hyping up, and apparently not new, he's been in the game for a long time, but Chimaev looked obviously like the world beater he is. This fight reminds me a lot of that going into it, where Almeida, I think he's going to do really well early. The dude shoots a takedown immediately. He's extremely technical at getting to the ground. Big dudes are hard to take down. Volkov's got a lot of experience. He's fought some wrestlers. He's not an easy takedown, but Almeida's got the skills to get this thing to the mat. Come that second round, because I do expect it to get to the second round, what does it look like? That's the big question mark. Volkov's got plenty of cardio. Almeida's cardio is a concern. It's a very interesting fight. I'm sounding like a broken record, maybe a successful record. I lean the over in this fight. I think Volkov's hard to get out of there. I think it'd be Almeida's submission if he does get him out of there. Vice versa, I think it'd be a Volkov very late KO if Almeida just gasses. All in all, that's where I lean. But I'm curious where you're at, because like I said, you had confidence going into this one. I thought this was a very interesting but difficult bet to fight, or fight to bet.
Well, first of all, over 1.5 is a minus 130. So I like over 1.5 big time.
I like that too.
I like that too. But in terms of my play here, I went back and I looked, and Volkov got taken down twice by Cyril Gane, taken down by Tommy A. That's going to happen twice. Taken down by Curtis Blades back in 2020 14 times, which goes to our comment about the over. Right. He's tough to finish here. But the honest truth is, every fight between that Pavlovich, Tuivasa, Romanov, which just, man, that sucked. Rosenstruck, he doesn't fight wrestlers. So I part of me thinks that Volkov struggles against technique, or size. And I don't know which one it is. Is a technical wrestler the one who's able to get him down? Or is it someone who's a true heavyweight that can just get him down? Because Almeida is not a true heavyweight. He's not one of these big boys. And I wonder if Volkov's size here is going to be a factor. And I genuinely don't know, because there isn't enough data on Volkov's. When he is successful defending the takedown, is he successful against technique, or is he successful against smaller opponents? And there just isn't enough data. But given that Volkov is the UFC vet that he is, and Almeida has proven to have poor game plans, poor cardio, and come in unprepared for fights, I like the plus money on Volkov. I'm not itching to bet it. I'm not running to the window, but I like to play damn near every single fight. I will be betting Volkov here. I think that Almeida is just, we've said it his entire career, he should be fighting at 205.
No.
I don't think that he has the wrestling size necessary to take down a ladder like Volkov. I think he's got the technique, but I think Volkov's takedown defense is technical enough. And then even if, we talked about this in the past, even if Almeida gets him down, I don't like his top game. He grapevines the legs, and he ends up just kind of hangs out with his head in the guy's chest. He doesn't do enough damage or threaten enough submissions. And even if he does ride out 3.5 minutes of control time in a round, doesn't guarantee that he wins the round. The bottom line is, I just don't think that Almeida, against a tenured, big UFC heavyweight top 5, top 7 guy, should be a 2-1 favorite. I'm happy to play Volkov here, but over 1.5 is a far better bet. So I as far as my money's going, it's going on the over 1.5, but I am officially going to pick Volkov on this one here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a straight wager player, that's the way to do it. It's just that's just the play of the fight.
All right, next fight. I'm just going to take a step back and let you talk here. We got Umar, who's already at a minus 600. I think he was minus 475 like 2 days ago, against Mario Batista plus 455.
Yeah, I mean, the price says it all. I mean, Umar's coming back. I believe it's his only loss. His only loss was to Merab, and Umar had success in that fight. Umar's got to clean up the cardio. That's it. The dude's an incredible striker. A little too he gets a little too overzealous for me on the striking, where he likes to do too much shit instead of just sticking way more just stick to the basics on the feet. But he likes to do a bunch of shit. Obviously, incredible wrestler. He's so talented. I mean, I'm not sure if Kalshi has a futures bet. If you could bet Umar will be a champion in his career, that's an incredible wager to make for a futures bet. I don't like having my money tied up for X amount of years. Like, you got to do future value of money. But Umar is that level of guy. Mario Batista, he was very annoying in I think it was the Jose Aldo fight.
Yes.
Aldo can make people like either frozen, and Aldo's still at his age is still extremely talented. But Mario Batista, really good boxer, showed incredible movement in his last fight against Patchy Mix, but a lot of that's because Patchy Mix is just a statue. Batista can wrestle offensively pretty well in his own right. Very good fighter. I don't think he's a top 5 guy. I think he's anywhere between 6 and 10, maybe 5 and 10. This is Umar's deserve it to be this price as much as anyone can be this price. It's an Umar with Aspinall all day, every day. And if you wanted to get the price, there's a few football props out there. I think Texas on the road against Mississippi State money line. I know it's controversial because Texas barely beat Kentucky last week. I like that. I like the Ravens at home with Lamar Jackson against the Bears. Bears are on a good road team. Love the Bills on the road against Carolina. I know the Red Rockets at quarterback, which I think is more dangerous than Bryce Young. Any of those football plays to you throw that with Umar and Aspinall, you get a nice 3-leg price parlay. That's what I like.
All right. Well, if we're gonna put a 3-legger out there, it's Indiana money line at home versus UCLA. Nico Ema dumbass
Dude, did you see the spread on that game? They're 25.5.
No, I didn't see that. No, not yet. I just saw that. I'll be betting UCLA there to that number.
Yeah.
Anyways, not important here. Look, a lot of you guys are not going to lay 2-1 on a parlay, but the parlay is Umar and Tommy A. I mean, it just lock it up, throw away the key. Like, I took my entire Kalshi account and I put it on Tom Aspinall just straight because I didn't want to screw around with parlays. I didn't want Umar to break a toe or Habib to come in like an eagle and disqualify the fight. I didn't want there to be any hubbub around my Tom Aspinall money. So I just put it all on Tommy A, large amount of money on Tommy A just to win enough money, but he gonna win. But it's Umar. It's a minus 200. It's not terrible. Just lay 4 for 2 and move on with your life here. Umar's gonna dominate this fight.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. Another one of our people, son of a mother. You know what? Kids, we're sitting down, we're sitting in the playpen, and we're watching UFC all fight. Because we got Mackenzie Dern. I mean, she's been top 10 on multiple lists for multiple years for multiple reasons. At a minus 155 against another one of our favorites, Crazy-Eyed Lou, Uncle Lou, at a plus 130, Werner Janderdova. I keep calling her Lou because you and I have called her Lou for like 6 years. She looks like our Uncle Lou. Same hair, same eyes.
Not same eyes.
And, same biceps.
Yeah.
He's got baseballs in there. I keep forgetting I can't just call her Lou when we're talking about this because no one knows what we're talking about. So Werner Janderdova's at a plus 150. I will say Mackenzie Dern's got money coming in at her. She opened at a minus 120 like a couple days ago. She's minus 155 now against the knee pads and Werner Janderdova.
And it's rare for me to see stuff going into like when we're filming. I've seen a lot of stuff backing Mackenzie Dern in this fight. A lot of it. I think people love the fact that it's a 5-round fight. Perception is that Dern's the better striker, and Verena Jandrova's game is wrestling, and Dern's obviously one of the best jiu-jitsu artists, and she has a win over Verena Jandrova. There's a lot of things that's a lot of support in the Mackenzie Dern favor. I'm not going against Verena Jandrova at plus money. That's just I'm not doing it. Look back, I know that fight between them. I mean, I remember it vividly, even though it was 5 years ago, which is crazy to think about. Just look back to more of the recent track record. Dern really, I don't want to say doesn't deserve this title shot, but she doesn't deserve the title shot.
She doesn't.
Jandrova, on the other hand, since basically that loss to Dern, has been on a tear. 5 years ago, Jandrova had 0 striking. Jandrova was extremely slow, and the grappling, while very good, was not to the level of which it is today. I think Jandrova's striking is so much more improved. Now, Dern has improved as well in the striking department, and Dern's learned a little bit. Her older issue was, should I really work on like my submission game and just like amplify that? Should I forego submission in training, practice striking? Should I just do wrestling because I can't get a takedown? She didn't know what she was doing. Mackenzie Dern is finding herself in the UFC. But Jandiroba has found herself for several years now and has just been on a tear. And I think the issue in this fight, I think the reason why people are seeing this incorrectly, everyone is saying how Dern can negate Jandiroba. I'm not hearing how Dern can win this thing. Dern's not wrestling Jandiroba. I can tell you that right now. Striking department, Tanya Jandiroba has improved so much since that last fight. That's 5 years ago, and she's done so well. And I like the wrestler Jandiroba. I trust her cardio. She's got the funk. Give me her at plus money.
Yeah. So this did not make my official bet slip just because I'm a huge Mackenzie Dern fan and I don't want to bet against her.
Sure.
But I'm on Jandiroba here, and the number's going against us. So just sit and wait if you want to roll with us here. Take away the names because Mackenzie Dern is like Sean O'Malley. She comes with this hype, this aura around her that it's going to make her prices always inflated. You see it with the Cowboys, even in the NFL. They suck ass and they still get these inflated numbers around them. Take off the names. You have both girls are mediocre to problematic strikers. Both girls are incredibly tough on the feet. Neither girl is going to be overly effective on the feet. Then you have a wrestler with a jiu-jitsu background who has time and time again proven that her relentless wrestling and pressure can wear opponents down over the course of 5 rounds. Meanwhile, the other one is a jiu-jitsu ace with minimal wrestling who has proven that she can be wrestled and failed to get that submission against lower-level talent. Cardio edge is probably Dern, but Verna can go 5 hard rounds, no problem.
Yeah.
There's no real cardio advantage, despite probably, if I had to pick one, I'd give the slight edge to Dern. There's no striking advantage, although I think that Dern will probably have more output. I think Verna will have the heavier hands. You have a wrestler versus jiu-jitsu. Even if Dern wins, she's more likely than not going to win from her back, which is not a position that I want to lay juice on here. It's Big Lou, big knee pads, Werner Jandiroba. You take the names out of it, whether I'm right or I'm wrong, because Mackenzie Dern does have special. She does have that Francis Ngannou power with her submissions where even if she's losing for 24 of the 25 minutes or 14 of the 15 minutes, there's always that chance. But this fight should be a pure pick'em, if not Verna favored here. Mackenzie Dern just comes with extra juice. She's like a really nice lady at the diner. She's going to give you the extra juice.
I got to say, just look at the record. Dern, in her last 8 fights, she's 4-4. That's crazy to me. And Jandiroba, like, she's 6-2, but her last 5 have been wins. Angela Hill, Marina Rodriguez, Lupi, I think they both have been win over Lupi, Amanda Lemos, and Yan Jianan. I love that one because that was a nice little win for me. Those are legit wins. I mean, you're getting great value. It's just at the end of the day, you're getting incredible value. Now, when I picture women's strawweight champion, do I picture Verona Jandiroba? I do not.
No.
Just from an image standpoint, I think it's a little baked into the line. I really like, as much as I can like her, because it is going to be an extremely close fight, you're getting good value.
Yeah, and it will be a close fight. I didn't want to crap on Dern too much. Oddly enough, I think this is going to look a lot like Lupi and Dern when Lupita Godinez and Dern fought. It was a 29-28 decision for Lupi. Her wrestling was more in control. Dern played jiu-jitsu early in the fight, but Dern ended up eking out a 29-28 decision. And I remember watching that fight. I bet Dern. I thought that Lupi won the fight. So I think it could look a lot like that. So I'm not running to the window just because Dern is the one the UFC is hoping that wins. She's a lot more marketable for a lot of different reasons than old, this going on here.
You got a haircut, though. Verona's got a haircut.
I hope she goes full on mop. I just embrace the funk. Don't shower for a month. I just go full on Amazon jungle on her. I'm staying away, but if I had to play it, I'd take Verna.
Yeah.
All right, next fight. I'll let you go first because I'm just gonna. I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna let you go first. I don't have a whole lot to say. The honest truth is, I don't have a whole lot to say. It's a varsity football team playing against a freshman team. That's really what's going on here. we have the GOAT of the heavyweight division at some point in his life, Tom Aspinall, at a minus 355, which is a gift of a number on DraftKings. FanDuel's already at 460, against Cyril Gane at a plus 280. The honest truth is, and I'm already getting on a roll, I'm getting all agitated because you didn't the Tom Aspinall, right?
Yeah,
We've said since his first fight that this guy is special. We identified it. We called it. You can't be that big, that athletic, and that well-rounded and not be special. And then he took that special, got a haircut, fixed the douche face, and elevated his game to a true consummate professional. And that's really what Tom Aspinall is. I remember an interview he had after like his second or his third win, and he said he wants to take the correct leveled fights because he wants to prove to himself that he is taking the right path to the championship. This guy is the epitome, the personification of composed at all facets of the game. The only way he's going to lose the heavyweight belt at any point in his career is if he gets knocked the fuck out by a guy like Sergey Pavlovich, who just can throw a haymaker harder than anybody, and you know what? It's 4-ounce glove. Shit happens. Tom Aspinall is the best striker in the heavyweight division. He's probably the best wrestler in the heavyweight division outside of Curtis Blades. It's close, though. And he's got phenomenal jiu-jitsu, phenomenal cardio, phenomenal coaching, phenomenal everything. This guy has a 125-pound flyweight skill set, and he walks around at 245, 250, but he moves like he's 170, 185. He's everything you want and then some. This is his fight. Kickboxing only, he beat Cyril Gane. That is how much better of a striker than Cyril Gane he is. And Cyril Gane is a world-class striker. Tom Aspinall is just better. But on top of that, I could probably wrestle Cyril Gane. That's a ridiculous statement, but I'm getting a little agitated here. Cyril Gane does not have defensive wrestling, so if shit hits the fan, if Cyril Gane gets rolling a little bit, Tom Aspinall is a phenomenal wrestler who can go take his ass down and finish the fight on the mat the minute that he wants to. Tom Aspinall is going to win this fight. He's going to win it quickly. He's going to jump on top of the cage, pound his chest, put his arms up like my boy does, hug his dad, and walk away with the belt. Book it. I put my whole Kalshi bankroll on him because I didn't want to screw with any kind of parlays. This is a lock of all locks. The only way he loses is the Curtis Blades where he busted his ACL in the cage. That's the only way he loses this fight. That's it. That's the only thing. Book it.
I agree full-heartedly. And there's a couple of instances in life where it's like maybe someone's driving in front of you. Either you got to ask the person, are you an asshole or are you an idiot? Because you're one or the other. Cyril Gane, either you took a dive or you have shit defensive wrestling against John Jones. There is no third choice. You got to, I mean, seriously, and that wasn't that long ago. You either took a legit dive. No, you're French. They're known for waving the white flags. You either took a dive and quit, or you're just a horrendous defensive grappler against someone that's obviously high level. Like, Gane is one of those guys. He's good offensive wrestler because he's just chiseled as can be, extremely athletic, and he's 35 years old now. I feel like when he came in the UFC, he was some kid. Yeah, and that's prime. That's prime heavyweight. But he has no defensive wrestling whatsoever. I think Volkov got him down a couple times. He's no defensive wrestling, and in this fight, Gane likes to dance a lot in the octagon. He's good. He's very good defensively. Very good defensively. Nice dance. Aspinall don't play that game. He'll come right at you. Aspinall has so many ways to make Gane uncomfortable. That's the thing I really like here in this fight. People that want to argue against Aspinall, here's what I'll try to do. Gane can match Aspinall's athleticism, is the perception. And if that happens, what happens when Aspinall can't just out? Because Aspinall's number one gift is his quickness, as a heavyweight. His mobility, his quickness. What happens when he goes against someone that's just as quick, just as fast? Is the perception. That's just not the case. Gane is much more of a fluid mover. Aspinall's a lot twitchier. Think NFL player. I think Tyreek Hill a lot twitchier of an athlete, and he's just better everywhere. I full-heartedly agree with you. I'm not even worried about a fluke KO here. The only worry I have is if a tear happens again, which is just so out of the realm of handicapping possibilities. You can't think like that. Aspinall should be a bigger favorite. He will be. He should be like a 520, 550 favorite here in this fight. He is simply better put. He's better everywhere. Gane doesn't have the power threat of Sergey Pavlovich. Gane has got no grappling against Aspinall, and Aspinall is just he's the better striker, better, faster, stronger, more powerful everywhere. Absolutely love Aspinall here. Once again, it's an incredible price. Him with Alex Garov is one of the best parlays I've seen in a long time from a value standpoint.
Yeah. Look, I know Tom Aspinall is my favorite fighter. I realize that I'm biased, but trying to take the bias out of it, kind of talking about what you said about Dern. You don't see how Dern can win. You can see how she can defend. I don't see how Gane can win this fight. Over the course of 25 minutes, even if Gane can defensively wrestle, I think that Aspinall is the better striker. Gane is smooth. Aspinall is twitchy. Gane is smooth. Aspinall is powerful. Gane is low volume. Aspinall will go kick your fucking ass.
Mm-hmm.
Aspinall can win this fight 6 different ways. I really don't see, and I'm trying to be unbiased, I don't see how Gane wins. I really, really don't see how Gane wins here. So I'm comfortable with 10 units on Tom Aspinall, spread across whatever you want to spread it across. But if you're like me, and you just know that Tom Aspinall is going to win. This is how confident I was with John Jones versus Cyril Gane. And Cyril Gane's a top 3 to top 5 guy. I don't blame you for taking whatever you feel comfortable taking and just putting it on him straight. No, that's not going to return a ton. He's a minus 500 favorite. But 10 units wins you 2 units. I'm not going to advocate for that. That's not intelligent betting. But as me, the fan, the person who loves the man, that's what I did. I took my entire Kalshi bankroll and just said, here, Tommy A, hold it for a week. I'll take it back plus 2.5 units later this week.
Yeah, and I definitely, granted, I have done that before. Definitely don't advise that. The fact that he's the last fight, we've been alluding to it, the parlay anchor. Going to go over the college football landscape. Honestly, you could take Northwestern plus 230 and throw them with Aspinall. Northwestern, I'm a plus 7.5. How about you take an alt line Northwestern plus 14.5 with Aspinall? I just pitched a 10. But in reality, you take Aspinall, you put him with a bunch of stuff, and then you'll know going into that fight how many units you have, quote unquote, on him. Bet the other guys as you're only betting that fight, and you're throwing Aspinall to negate the prices of that particular fighter. And then at the end of the night, you'll know. Now, you might have, in this like hypothetical scenario, 10 to win 15 units. Okay, well then you can throw a little sprinkle on Gane just for financial ramifications, just making sure like you're hedging out of it a little bit, and you're good. Or things don't go your way, now you only have a potential 5-unit win on Aspinall, and that's within sort of the threshold of what you want to be risking on a particular fighter of around that 4 to 5 unit. That's how you bet this fight. It's a gift that he's fighting last. Obviously, heavyweight champion's always going to fight last. But that's how you play this fight. You throw him with everything else that you like in everything, and then you determine at the time of the fight if you want to hedge.
Just be careful because this is a daytime fight card. If you put him with college football stuff, there's a chance that the Aspinall fight
11 a.m.
goes
game
off before your college game ends. Don't assume a win if you're going to do this kind of hedging. This is advanced gambling shit.
11 a.m. game. Yeah, you want your parlay anchor to be your closing anchor.
Yes,
that's what you want. You don't want to be
so that way you can hedge if and when you need to for the amount that you need to with known amounts of units.
Yeah, the Umar Aspinall with X, that X would have been after the fact, and I'm personally okay with having that as like my risk assessment. But if you're doing your method of the 10-unit thing, then you need to have stuff in the precursor and then have Aspinall be the end.
All right, so we have a lot more bets than I thought we were going to have here. So just running through them. Follow us on Twitter at Pound the Lines or X. Follow us on betmma.tips at Pound the Lines. We'll have all of our units laid out so you know exactly how much we're putting on each thing. We're not going to talk about that on the video here because we want to keep this under an hour. Jose Delgado, taking him. Nazareth Hapkaras, taking him. Al Sawadi, multiple units. I'll do the parlays at the end. Aliskerov by KO. Rockets. And under 2.5. Separate plays, not a same game parlay. Over 1.5, Volkov Almeida. Then our parlays, Umar and Tommy A comes out to about a minus 200. Umar and Aliskerov comes out to a minus 150. Aliskerov and Tommy A minus 140. Maxim and Tommy A about a minus 160. And then you take Tom Aspinall and you put him with anything. Cricket, ping pong, bowling, college football. how many what pull-ups you can do in the backyard. I don't give a shit. This is a lock, and I have not said that since John Jones fought Cyril Gane.
Well, you have, but not in this context. Not in the main event.
It's true. That's true. Yeah, that's true. I have to get a little tipsy from time to time.
But in the main event context, you are right.
This is going to be a phenomenal fight card. UFC 321. You don't want to miss it. Any final thoughts before we hit the road here?
I just wish Little League was going on. I'd be betting Little League with Tom Aspinall.
You are
big fan
really
of California and Hawaii.
So was that
California, Hawaii? When they're like the team, you just ride that gravy train all the way to the American Championship game.
You do make a lot of money in the Little League World Series. You're going to be screwed if they start making that illegal, which they probably should. They're children. Anyways,
probably should.
Pound Mines, cash tickets. Click.